Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Beginner Bike Giveaway series. If you don't know what goes on here, this is the show where I post up every week where we talk about our 2018 SV650 and our 2019 Yamaha YZF-R3, which is outside of the garage right now, because today it's all about the SV650. If you don't know, these bikes are going to be given away to someone in October. You can hit the links below to learn how you can sign up and join to win some extra chances. You can buy some merch, and every dollar you spend is an entry, or you can check on our Patreon to send me a letter and get entered in completely for free. There's been a bit of a miscommunication, and some people think that you have to pay to enter. You do not have to pay to enter. You can send a letter completely for free, and you get entered to win. But if you want to win additional chances and sign up for our Discord, or all kinds of other cool perks and stuff, definitely check those links below. Without further ado, today we're going to be taking care of this horrible tail on the SV650. We're going to be doing a little bit of a tail tidy. There's going to be a bit of a twist though. I am going to actually time myself to do this. I want to show that a little tail tidy can be done in under an hour. Let's see if I can do that. But before we do that though, I'm actually going to take the SV650 out on the road, do a quick little vlog, and then come back in the garage and wrap this up and do this little tail tidy, because you guys mentioned in a couple comments that I don't vlog as much. You want to see me on the bikes more, so I'm going to jump on the bike, have some fun, we'll come back, and then we'll get started. Alrighty guys, let's go take the SV650 out for a quick spin. As you'll notice, the case sliders are already installed. That's because I didn't want to come back with the hot engine and then try to wait for it to cool down and do a whole bunch of other stuff. I got things to do today, you know? I got things to do, people to see, people to call, food to eat, drinks to have, libations as it were. I don't have time to wait for this SV650 to cool down. So we're going to take it out for a quick little spin as part of today's vlog, if I can get the key in. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the installation process to the case sliders right here. But before we do, look at my scrambler. Look at my wonderful bike. I can't wait to do my review on this thing. Gosh, I love this bike so much. I just wanted to point that out. All right, let's go do this. Alrighty, guys. We're here once again in downtown, providing you a good visual stimulus while I do one of these vlogs. I don't really know what to say other than, you know, we're on the SV650, and, you know, I think what a lot of you guys want from these vlogs is just to kind of see the bike in action and just kind of see it through traffic and doing stuff. Because, I mean, it's one thing to see pictures of it on Instagram. It's one thing to see videos of me kind of wrenching on it or talking about it. But it's a whole other thing to kind of just see it in real life and see me riding it. And so that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully this camera angle is looking good for you guys. This is a bit of a new angle that I'm trying out, and hopefully it's looking pretty good for you. I think I tested this on a Scrambler vlog, and it appears to provide more forward visibility, which is really good, because I wanted you guys to see more of what's going on, and then, you know, be able to actually kind of see the surroundings as I ride. Man, this bike is just so much fun to ride in pretty much any conditions. I still think the R3 is a better, like, dense sort of city bike, because it's just, you really don't need 70-ish horsepower for, like, super dense city stuff, but boy, is it fun to just kind of just goon it, man. This is a goon's bike for sure. I forgot to do up my helmet, I think. You gotta pull over and do that. Let me check. Yeah, it's not done up. I gotta pull over. Just do what I need to do. Gotta do up the helmet. Can't believe I left home without doing it up. I've been riding for a little bit too. That's kind of weird that I didn't feel it up until now. I think I just caught a gust of wind that made me feel the, oh wait, it is done up. I mean, I'm going crazy. I think I need some water or something, guys. It's too hot out here. I thinking my helmet's not done up. All confused. That was ridiculous. I thought it was done up. I remember doing it up before I left. Oh well. This is the quality content you've come to know and expect. What do we got over there? Cheeky little Bonneville, that's what it looks like. I just saw a Honda Ruckus over there. Along with mopeds, electric scooters, and bicycles, the Honda Ruckus seems to be an extremely popular choice for Austinites. I think it's because it has a continuously variable transmission. You don't really have to, or a centrifugal clutch rather, you don't really have to shift gears on the Ruckus. So I think that's why it's so popular here. But at the same time, God, just, maybe it's because I'm a motorcyclist, but I'm like, dude, just get a bike. Just get a bike, baby. It's so much more fun. And you can get so much further with it too. I've got a buddy of mine who I was chatting with the other day, and he was like, oh, I'm in Austin, and you know, I've got a Ruckus, and it's just, it struggles uphill. I mean, even a Grom wouldn't struggle uphill. So if you wanted something that's just chiller to ride, a Grom is a perfect city bike in my opinion if you're not trying to go too far. Let's take you guys over to the east side. This section over here kind of sucks. It's sort of like Austin Skid Row in a way. You got a whole bunch of people hanging out here. It's really kind of a shame. But we're not going to get into homelessness policies on this vlog. That's a topic I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole. I really don't go to the east side of town too often. I really should though. I know there's tons of good restaurants and food and coffee over here. So I think I should really check this out. One of my favorite food trucks is over here. It's called Boteco. It's a little Brazilian food truck. As you guys know, I am Brazilian. I was born in Brazil. Grew up in a Brazilian household, so I ate a lot of that food. So it reminds me a lot of being home whenever I ate that stuff. So if you guys are in Austin, definitely check out Boteco. They didn't pay me to say that or anything. I just like the food that they serve there. I'm gonna show you guys how much you can goon on this bike. It's a second gear, just full throttle. Plenty of poke from this motor, man. This bike can get you in lots of trouble if you're not careful. I'd say this is the very limit to what a beginner should use, man. This bike is pretty quick, honestly. Even for me, an experienced rider, like it really gets up and goes, and it's the torque that really makes a difference. It's the low down in the rev. See, third gear, you really get moving, you know? You don't have to be super high up in the RPMs and, you know, to do a bunch of damage with it. So beginners, you gotta be careful with a 650 class bike, man. This thing's pretty quick, actually. I think it's the reason why in Europe and those kinds of places they have the A1, A2 licensing system, because I would say this is your very limit of what you can ride with this bike. You know, like I'd say like 70-ish, 75-ish horsepower. That's the most I'd recommend to a beginner, and I'd really take a look at the torque and how it's made, you know. Oh man, I kind of just want to skip this traffic. Between you and me, guys, I lane split in Austin all the damn time. I just don't really care. Most people don't really care when you're in like a dense urban area like this, and you can just kind of do whatever you need to do, which is really great. I'm gonna turn right on Chicolin Street. You know, one thing's kind of funny about the SV650, the low speed stuff. I guess it's because the bike's geometry is so kind of different than the R3 and the Scrambler. Low speed stuff feels a little, I wouldn't say wonky, but it's just different. It really takes some getting used to if you're not, you know, used to riding a bunch of different motorcycles. If it's your first bike you're riding, I think you'd be fine, but it's a little weird, the low speed stuff, because it doesn't like lean this way like you'd expect to. It kind of like turns like a car in a way. Maybe that's just me. That's a really strange complaint to have with a bike. And probably most people watching this are just like, that's insane. You don't turn the bike, you obviously lean it over. But I'm telling you, in low speeds, it feels a little wonky. I don't think I haven't done anything to the handlebars or the basic geometry of the motorcycle, so I can't imagine you actually needing anything. So I think it's just me. Maybe I'm just a terrible rider. Ooh, what do we got over here? Cheeky little CB. Looks like a little Honda CB. Classic little UJM. Let's make sure this guy doesn't go. Come over here to the left. It's just a quick tip from me to you. If you're ever in a situation like that where you think someone can't see you, get over as far as you can to the left so they can actually see you coming down the lane. I've had quite a few people kind of cut in whenever I'm riding because they didn't see me. So remember, guys, it's your job to make sure that people can see you. It's not their job to be mindful of you. It is weird having now, I think I've put down like 1,500 miles or so on the Scrambler, and just had a ton of fun with that bike. Oh, we got a little dual sport over there. What's that? Oh no, it's another desert sled. How cool. That's rad. That's the retro paint scheme that I fell in love with when I started looking at that bike earlier this year. Anyways, yeah, so it's funny, I was just talking about the Scrambler and I saw another one. having ridden the desert sled like 1,500 miles or so now, I'm so used to just like standing up on the bike whenever I want to. It's really weird being back on like a real street bike, and you can't just stand whenever you want, and kind of, I don't really have the confidence to like jump over curbs and crush any pothole that I want. I know that this bike can't really take that, so it's just kind of funny when you've been on the, you know, sort of naked ADV / dual sport motorcycle, and you get back on a real street bike. You're just like, wow, they can't do a whole lot, can they? I mean, they're fun and they're flicky and fast, but they can't really take you anywhere. I think that's the fun of a dual sport, is like you just feel like you can, anywhere you want to go, really, you can probably go there, you know? Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this quick little vlog on the SV650. Now we're going to jump back into the garage and install the tail tidy on it, which is pretty slick. And I just realized that earlier I talked about the case sliders, but today's episode is about the tail tidy. So I'm sorry, I got confused. I did both episodes in one day, okay? Yammie Noob exposed. He did 2 episodes in one day. I'm sorry, I had to bulk them up. So I'll catch you guys in the garage. Alrighty, we are back in the garage now. We are going to take care of this tail here. Tail tidies don't really serve any functional purpose. To be honest, stock tails and their big tails right here actually serve to counter some of the water and splash that you might have while you ride. So tail tidies really are just a, you know, stylish kind of mod that most people like to do on their motorcycles. So let's get started on this one. Today we have the Yoshimura, I don't know, tail tidy for this bike. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but kind of wish we were, because they make high quality stuff. Got this sweet new little bracket here, which is awesome. Some little stickers, instructions, and that's pretty much it. It looks like one single bracket that utilizes the existing bolts. So let's take a look here. So they've given us the bolts here. Got a little adapter bracket, a couple zip ties, another little adapter bracket, and the main bracket where the plate will sit. So this stuff is usually pretty simple. You just remove a couple bolts on the bike and make sure you get everything else routed back up, and then toss it up. So let's put the timer on and let's do it. Okay, we're starting the clock. Go. All right, time's going on now. That's not a phrase. All right, let's do this. So our first order of business is going to be taking this seat off before we get started and everything else. Let's do that really quick. And I do mean really quick, because we are being timed, and I'm trying to do this under an hour. Here we go. So now we can get a good feel for what we need to do in order to remove the tail section of the bike. It looks pretty simple. Looks like a couple bolts here. Actually hold the fairings onto the bike, and then we can access the tail. So let's see what the manual says on the tail tidy. Now we're going to take out these bolts right up here. Pretty easy stuff. So 4 bolts holding together that, and off it goes. This is one of the easiest tail tidies I've seen so far. Just 4 simple bolts you can access extremely quickly. Big props to Suzuki for making it that easy. Those are 4 little bolts we took off over there. Easy peasy. Now we're gonna figure out how to put on the new one. Now we need to remove the indicators from the assembly, so let's do that super quick. We're going to remove this rubber piece here, otherwise we can't pull out the turn signals, so let's do that super quick. So now we have to do a little bit of electrical work. I hesitate to even say work because it's pretty simple. What we're going to do is right here on the stock plate, stock assembly, there's a little light right here that shines for the tail light so people can see your license plate at night. What we have to do, because Yoshimura has its own light assembly, we need to snip this but retain this plug here. So we got to cut it about right around here, and then strip away the wires a little bit and show, connect them with the butt connectors on these little dudes. So we're gonna do that really quick. All right, guys, quick status update. I had to run back up to my apartment and check if I had a electrical splicer, whatever you call it. I don't, so we're gonna use good old-fashioned scissors. Whoops. Okay. Good old-fashioned scissors make it happen. The other thing that I noticed on the instruction manuals on the terminal side, it listed a brown and black wire. But as you can see here, both of these are black. Camera's having a tough time with this one. But both of them are black, and so I had to go back to the terminal here and see which is which. So I went through, saw that the left side here is the brown one, so I marked that. So now we're gonna splice this up to the new light, and hopefully it all goes according to plan. The other thing I did as well, because I'm pretty sure I left my heat gun at my other garage, I've borrowed my girlfriend's hair dryer. Because you guys know I obviously don't have hair, so I don't need one of these. So I'm gonna use that to heat wrap the butt connectors on the new wires, and should be good to go. And then quick little patch back up, and we should be good shape. Wow, this camera cannot focus on my hand. Well, can't show you guys that. All right, guys, so we went through and connected our new light. Now we're going to build the little assembly and install it onto the tail and call it a day. Alrighty guys, there it is, tail tidy installed, and as you just saw, it's working properly. Light is good, both turn signals are good. It looks really clean. It's a nice cleanup job of the old tail. One of the big issues that I found was just getting that paper plate on there. Took so long because you have to undo the 2 bolts, get the 2 back in, and then put the other 2 bolts back in because the Yoshimura component is super kind of lightweight, and so the whole thing is held together on the actual tail side of it by these 4 bolts, and so you have to always keep one of the bolts on. So that definitely added to our time. But let's check how long it took us to do this today, with a couple trips up to the apartment and a couple snags that we ran into. All right, so apparently it took us 1 hour and 48 minutes. That sucks. I feel like with proper planning, you could definitely do this in under 1 hour. I'm just really bad at doing this stuff. And it just took me forever because, you know, I had to go back upstairs and do a couple other things and start a couple other things and coffee breaks and checking emails. I definitely could have done this quicker, so that sucks, but that's life. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks so much for checking out this episode. Remember, click the links below to learn how you can win this bike or our 2019 Yamaha YZF R3. It's gonna be a good time. Thanks again for watching. Tune in next time. I'll see you later.